Said Mike. He's alive.
Oh. We're going techno.
Uh-oh. This is not going to work.
Is Avicii doing our meeting? Or are we getting Kelvin doing it?
That should help at least when you're getting.
No more reverb.
Nope, that's still grabbing it.
It's like
Well,
Space
John, you're a
Odyssey.
good lawyer, but not a good electronic guy.
Turn on your mics and you should be good. I move that we open the Groveland Conservation Commission meeting for February 9th, 2022 at 7:12.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right.
Roll call or it's
No,
just
we don't
us?
need to do roll call because we don't have anybody,
No remotes?
no remote members,
All right.
unless Fred comes on.
He sometimes does.
Well, I'll keep an eye on it for it. All right, so we have 3 hearings tonight that will start at 7:30, but until then, we'll see if we can get through some of our other business. And the first, number 4 on our agenda is the minutes from January 2022. I think that should be. It says 21, but it's 22.
Mine says 22.
22.
This one's good.
Really?
On the new one, I messed it up. Jeez.
Don't worry about it. So,
Exactly.
Oh, the
anybody
revised?
have any changes or additions or subtractions from the minutes as submitted?
I didn't see anything.
Is there a copy of them somewhere?
Wasn't here.
All right.
They may have some extra stuff in the back.
'Cause I think I was here, yeah.
Yeah. For your name.
So, Annie,
Yep.
is this a separate thing here? It says
Oh, it's
768, then it says
768. It's supposed to be-
769.
760. This is supposed to be 760. That's supposed to be 769. It was
Okay.
all within the seasonal update.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah.
So
I just got the number wrong.
768, okay, this should be 769. Yeah, you can fix that.
Okay.
So any other questions on the minutes? Then we'll take a vote. Is there a motion on the minutes?
Motion to accept the minutes as presented
Second,
for January 2022, sorry.
second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, then we'll take a vote. All in favor of accepting the minutes as corrected for January 12th, 2022.
Aye.
Aye.
Terry, did you say aye?
I did.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Mike usually calls out the different possibilities, but he seems busy right now.
Okay. Here's the sign.
Thank you.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is number 5, seasonal waiver update. So I'm going to turn it over to Annie to tell us about that, and also 4 Yema Road.
Yep, I'll just combine them. So 12 Pleasant, that's the garage edition. Obviously, because of the weather we've had the last month, really not much change. I think they've only been able to work 1 or 2 days, so they're still anticipating, I think it was like 40-ish more days, maximum 40 days. They kind of overestimated, so not much change there. Erosion controls are still in place and all of that. 177 King Street, that was a septic system and addition. They're only doing the septic system. They're waiting on the addition to be outside of the seasonal waiver. The septic system was more pressing. Mike did the pre-construction meeting last week before the snowstorm. They haven't obviously been able to start yet because of that, but the erosion controls are in place. Oh wait, I switched 177 King and 139. I meant 139 King.
Oh, okay.
177 King is completed. They obviously weren't able to stabilize, so they put straw down in the meantime. As far as 4 Yema Road, they have finally been approved by the Board of Health, so they are all set to go. Their seasonal waiver expired January 31st. So they asked to extend it until the end of February because they've only just now been able to start. So they're asking for a seasonal waiver with the same terms and conditions and to end on February 28th.
Are there any changes to the site since?
Yeah, what happened, I guess, with the Board of Health?
It was a lot of issues with the plan. I know there was an issue, the designer didn't put on the plan that it was not suitable for garbage disposal. They didn't put certain kind of things like that on the plan. I know as well, the health agent is making them put the system in when it is above, I think, 32 degrees. So there were a lot of other things going on, but from our perspective, everything's in the same place. There's been nothing has happened on the site yet. I'm going to look at their erosion controls tomorrow for a pre-construction meeting.
Okay.
So it's, I mean, it's February, what, 9th? Did they have enough time for February 28th?
Yes, that's what the installer told me. Because it's such a small lot and it's flat, they're not and they don't have to clear anything. They're anticipating it should be pretty straightforward, and especially because of that, like, heat, temperature restriction, it's
Yeah, I
gonna
was gonna
be.
say, I mean, February can be,
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be 60 on Saturday, so they're pretty confident they'll be okay.
okay.
So it's been a long haul for this one.
Sure. Yeah, well, we're,
4 Yema Road.
yeah, okay, so, move to approve an extension of the seasonal waiver for 4 Yema Road until February 28th,
Second.
On the same,
with all
on
the
the
same
same terms.
conditions.
Yeah.
Second, somebody second that.
Terry
Terry
did.
did.
Terry did.
Any further discussion on extending the seasonal waiver for 4 Yema Road with the same terms as before? The only thing that's changing is the end date, not the amount of time, basically. Okay, we do have to do roll calls now.
Fred's here.
So Terry,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
John,
Yes.
Stephanie,
Hi.
Fred,
Aye.
and Mike, aye. Unanimous. All right, the next item on our agenda is a discussion, picking up from last time, of our seasonal fee structure. And so, let's see if I can
Well,
get this up on the screen here.
Mike, you skipping the guardrail or
Which one?
number
Number 7.
931 Salem Street, the guardrail.
Oh, Mike, did I print you the old agenda? I did. I printed Mike the wrong
Only
agenda.
going by what I have.
Are you doing the 2021 agenda for January? I mean,
No, I swear it's not that. I had to revise it, and it's
Oh, boy.
screwed me up.
Joke, I know.
Whoopsies.
It's a good one, and we're gonna use it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything about grills on your agenda?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, I read those minutes.
Sorry.
All right, so number 7 is 931 Salem Street guardrail within buffer zone. So Annie, I'll turn it over to you on this.
Yes, so 931 Salem Street, the auto body garage, they are still working through the process of finishing up with the planning board and kind of the other entities throughout town. And one of the unfinished items that was within the buffer zone was a guardrail along the back portion of the lot where that retaining wall is. Mike Maroney is here also to speak on it, but he sent me an email today. They have put temporary jersey barriers there in the meantime to be there instead of the guardrail because they're not going to be able to get that ordered for a while. So the jersey barriers are technically within our jurisdiction, but where they're placed, they're on pavement and they're temporary. Did I miss anything, Mike?
Mike Maroney. I apologize, I couldn't get there to the meeting tonight, but the Jersey barriers are not temporary, they're permanent.
Oh.
They are actually fixed and they are secured by all of, I sent Annie a picture and Sam and Rebecca a picture. they are permanent barriers set on the retaining wall behind the, excuse me, what is it? Anyway, so they're set behind the,
The curb?
Curbing?
word. The what?
The curb?
The berm that's around the entire property. So what we've done is set permanent ones on top of the retaining walls there. And because I'm leaving tomorrow for vacation, I wanted to get them in. And I actually, should have come to the board and asked for this permission, but because I'm leaving, I decided to do this permanent situation. And these Jersey barriers, and I had sent a picture to Annie and Rebecca and Sam that these are permanent and they're dialed together, and they each weigh 5,300 pounds each. So they're actually maintenance free. They're better than, they're the same Jersey barriers that the
Yes.
state uses for highway construction. And so, when you hit one, you're hitting 10,000 pounds of a Jersey barrier, not 53, because they're all joined together. They're not sitting, so I did send pictures, and they,
Yeah, that's my fault. I
They're a
didn't.
substitute, and they actually meet the requirement. They exceed the requirements of the guardrail, but they have the same height as the guardrail would require, which is 2.6 above the pavement height. So I apologize for not coming to the board and get this done before, but I wanted to get it done before the meeting because I'm leaving tomorrow morning, and I would be more than willing, to first of all apologize for doing it beforehand, but it only took 1 hour, and there's zero excavation in the buffer zone, and it's a more permanent situation. But if the board would see it, I would be willing to pay the $400 for the day for the 1 hour's worth of work. It's a maintenance-free situation, and I think it's a better situation. I don't know if Annie has shared the picture with you people, but it is a much better situation.
Well, the specifications are outside of our jurisdiction. I think this is a vehicle,
Yeah.
not, has nothing to do with
Yeah,
protecting the wetlands.
that's more
It's
planning board.
just keeping cars where they're supposed to be. And I respect the offer to pay for the waiver fee. And I think we ought to come up with some way to reconcile that.
The picture is kind of wonky. It was a screenshot of an email, so it would have been impossible to show it.
So they're sitting on top of the retaining walls, you said?
Mike, did you hear that?
I'm sorry, I did not.
Bill asked if they're sitting on top of the retaining wall.
Yes, they are sitting on top of the retaining wall that's required by the approved subdivision by your board. And so what we did was we set them on top, which is behind the curbing that's already there.
And the guardrail would have been put into dirt or into the retaining walls?
No, well, unfortunately, I called 4 companies to do the guardrail this time of year. They have no employees. They're not going to drill frozen dirt. This is the owner body paid more money to have this done by $1,500, and it's a maintenance-free situation, and it's a much better situation for it looks actually better than a guardrail. And it's totally maintenance free.
In my opinion, I don't think that this warrants any waiver fee because the work that was done really wasn't jurisdictional. Just because he put a cement block in the buffer zone, I don't think that that's any work that we really need to be concerned about. But that's my opinion. Anybody else?
Why do you say it's not in the buffer zone?
No, I say it's not our jurisdiction because just like they can now park cars in the buffer zone, they could put a cement block in the buffer zone. What difference does it
So
make?
as long as it
Well,
doesn't.
they can't pave in the buffer zone.
No, but that's,
Well, what's the
that's-
difference? It's work in the buffer zone, Mike. And I think, it's bad that wasn't presented to us prior to actually doing it. And, I think it makes sense for them to pay for he's made the offer to pay for it. I don't understand why you're turning it down. That takes away some of the sting from not being consulted ahead of time.
Right,
So,
I actually agree.
I just gave you my opinion.
okay,
That's my
yep,
opinion,
and
you
I'm
know.
giving you my opinion, so.
Sure. So if you want to make a motion then.
I would like to make a motion that we accept this change, that we are grateful that he understands that he should have come to us, and I hope he'll come to us if anything else comes up, and that we accept the $400 waiver fee for this project.
Second,
Any further discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, then we'll take a vote. Terry,
Aye?
Bill,
Aye.
Hey, Don,
John,
may I might be up, if you can turn that down, just,
What?
I don't know, it's gonna get picked up on the mic here.
Hello?
Who's
Who's
talking?
talking? What are you asking?
I think they're talking to themselves.
Oh,
They were supposed to be muted.
okay.
okay, moving on. You've got
Yes,
two.
John,
Yes,
Stephanie,
Aye.
Mike, yes, unanimous.
Fred,
Oh, sorry,
Fred,
Aye.
Yes, unanimous.
we haven't forgotten you, Fred.
I understand.
Okay. So I'm going to make a motion that we open the hearing portion of the meeting at 7:32 PM.
Second.
Second.
Okay,
Mike, do we have any instructions on the last topic we just discussed?
which
He's heading
one?
off on vacation. Do we need anything before he heads out?
He can,
Checks in the mail? What's
Yeah.
the,
for 931, we just need the check,
Yeah,
that's all.
well, I'm sure that he's going to send it.
okay.
Whenever he sends it, he sends it.
In the minutes, we can check.
I'm actually leaving tomorrow morning, but I'll bring a check in to Annie on I'll be back on the 16th.
That's fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Enjoy your trip.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, so moved and seconded that we open the meeting, the hearing portion of the meeting. Terry,
Whoop.
roll call vote.
Oh, present. Thank you.
Yay or nay or abstain?
For what, open the meeting?
Yes.
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
John,
Yeah,
Stephanie,
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
Mike, yes, unanimous. Okay,
One of those days.
I don't know.
It has been.
It already is.
All right. The first hearing is continued from January meeting on 85 Main Street. It's a Groveland notice of intent. And if you recall, we did a site visit there last month and really didn't have any questions per se about it. So I think George is on here. I see George there.
Yes, yes, I am, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have anything to add for us tonight?
I don't have anything to add unless you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any.
Okay, I'm going,
Mr. Manuel did the site walk. I was unable to make it that day.
yes. I'm going to bring up the site plan for the site. Let's see, pull it up. Okay. Here's the site plan as you recall. So here, Annie, where's your? So the existing house there and about, what did we say, maybe about 75 feet away is the new house. And just outline for us the borders of that new lot that's being built.
Yeah, so the new lot is this portion right here. That's the new lot that's been created. The existing lot does kind of horseshoe around it, so you can see there it does, that is still being retained with the existing house. The dark line are the erosion controls. And then, yeah, I mean, you guys were out there, so you're familiar. And then the wetland is right here. So this is the 50-foot buffer zone. It's going right along the edge there.
So the question I have is, it's hard to see, but is it true that a small portion of the house is within the 75-foot no-build zone?
Yes.
No.
No?
The entire house is outside the 75-foot no build.
Okay,
Oh, so the driveway is.
The driveway is in it.
yeah, but that doesn't count under the no-build.
The 100-foot buffer zone goes through about the middle of the house.
Yep,
The 75-foot buffer zone falls about 8 feet outside the house itself.
okay, all right, thank you. So
And the 50-foot is, we're not doing any work within the 50-foot. The grading and the starts at about 53 feet.
okay. So the only question I have for the commissioners is, do we want to, well, besides anything else you want to bring up, but do we want to put markers here? I would recommend it. And if so, where should they be?
I think they should be on the 50-foot.
On the 50-foot?
We usually do it on I thought the 75. I could be wrong, but.
Well, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
but
right in their
it's
Yeah,
driveway,
I mean,
so
you're not doing it through the
driveway.
middle of the driveway. I'm
pose
just
some
saying,
problems.
Yeah,
Or we can start at 50 and
Scroll
then
a little bit down so I
sneak
can
out
put
to
it outside on the
75.
TV so people can see it.
how's it gonna affect the grading? Because we saw that drop off is pretty,
I think it's an under garage.
Yeah,
Under,
didn't he say it was garage underneath,
Yeah.
built into the hill?
So the trouble with putting them at the 50-foot is, I understand, you know, why we don't want to put them in the middle of the driveway. But, you know, that's, I would like to see markers at the 100-foot buffer because they say anything beyond this point requires a permit, which is absolutely true.
Yeah.
so
Which
can we-
makes, if you put it at the 50, okay, that makes it seem like I don't need any permit for any work
That's true.
on the other side of it, so, but, so what I was thinking when I was looking at it is, we should put something at the 50-foot buffer, kind of at the edge of where the driveway ends, and then maybe a couple up on the 100-foot buffer on the rest of the lot.
I mean,
So-
like by
I
the
guess-
street maybe, or?
Let me see the, so I would suggest maybe like one here,
Yeah,
and then on the 100-foot buffer, maybe one here and one here.
Maybe 2 on the 50.
well, yeah, I guess I'm kind of thinking 50, then kind of curve around 75 and then go to the 100. I think that, I could see that.
So what are you saying, four markers?
Yeah, I think if you're gonna be closer than usual, I think you have to have more than usual. Does that
Well-
make sense?
You know, there's no need to put them up there if we're gonna have, you know, something down here, so maybe,
Yeah, I guess my concern is I'd like something that sort of diagonals up so that the, you know,
you're saying like something over here.
Do 2 on the 50.
To make it a real line is
seriously.
what you're looking to say, as opposed to a fake line.
Yeah,
I guess what I would say is
Here,
something here, something there, near the edge of the garage.
No, he's,
I want
we got a
this.
laser pointer.
Okay, well, something at the start, that protects that. Something here protects that.
Uh-huh.
Then if you go to 75, right,
yeah,
that covers that, and then you go up to 100, and then you kind of cover that going
That's sort
down.
of in the middle of the property though, like right in the middle.
So what?
Okay.
I don't know,
Yeah, why
what's the
go-
problem?
No,
It's the
but
truth, right?
why go all the way up there? How about closer to the house on the 75? Bring it down more.
Like,
Yeah, like right there, on the 75. And then another one on the 100, and then one more. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yeah. Is that-
Do we have any notion of what the homeowner plans to do with the area that is behind the house? Because, I mean, we need to protect our resource, but it's going to be a lot easier to work with them if, and get, you know, cooperation.
So right now, it just drops down. If they were gonna change it and put a lawn in there, I would not be happy. I mean.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
It drops down the hill and right into the resource area, so I think by putting 5 in there, you're gonna keep it natural for a long, and I'm not, you know, they want some backyard, I get that. And
Well, they
that's-
can have backyard. I mean, that area all up above there is all grass now.
Yep.
So we're not saying they can't have grass there. It's more that, you know,
If
if
they
they're
wanna
gonna
do
put a
anything.
shed up or something else, you know.
Okay.
Well, where that heavy line is, that's the line, you know, basically the line where they plan on planting grass or doing regrading.
Yep.
so, yeah, George, I was just gonna ask, so they're not planning on grading anything outside or putting grass anywhere outside of where the erosion controls are marked on this plan, right?
That's correct, up to the, where the siltation barrier is.
Yeah.
That's the limit of work.
So I think it would make more sense to put the conservation markers at this limit of work, because then nothing will be in their backyard, but it still is.
It defines,
It defines their yard without it being in the middle of their yard. I think that could be a good compromise, because no matter what, their yard is gonna be within the buffer zone. but as
or
long as-
chunks of it are, yeah.
Yeah, as long as they know not to mess with anything outside of the area that they're planning on creating a lawn out of, I think
Yep.
that could be a reasonable
Okay,
compromise.
So that's still 50 at the beginning, 50 past the driveway. You could go up to the 75 and then up to the 100, right?
Yeah,
Or four of
so
them.
kind of right where it intersects, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's,
So right here, and then maybe like one here and one here.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
4 now?
I
Four,
think that makes
yep.
sense because it's less space.
And
But I'm not the
You're not sticking a
commission.
big granite thing right in the middle of the
Yeah.
lawn, which is a pain in the
Exactly.
ass to mow around. Yeah.
Now, I'm not a big fan
I
of,
can't see where you're pointing, so.
George, it's essentially where that barrier,
Yeah,
where
it's
the
along
barrier
the
is,
dock,
it intersects at the 100-foot buffer zone, where it intersects at the 75-foot, kind of right at the end of the driveway, and then right at the beginning, essentially.
Oh,
plus or
okay, so
minus.
there'll be two going on that's basically parallel to the driveway.
Yep,
And then with the, where it intersects the 75 and the 100.
yep, exactly. That's what they're proposing.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable, I think.
Now, I'm not a huge fan of grass myself, but
Same.
that lawn does not, that area enclosed by the sediment
Erosion control?
erosion control doesn't look huge. Is that gonna be, are they gonna, first thing they're gonna do is move beyond that, or what,
Well, They can, Terry, it's just that what we're saying is if they're gonna do anything beyond that, they gotta come and talk to us.
all right,
I think they have grass
That's
back there
correct.
farther back now.
yeah, it's grass.
It's already
up there.
grass.
all right, so there'll just be some chunks of granite in the middle of an extended lawn.
Yes.
Yes.
If the lawn ends at the
Yeah,
erosion control, then the granite posts will be there. If the lawn goes further, then they're gonna have granite posts in their lawn.
Yeah.
That's life,
Maybe that will encourage some native plantings
maybe.
right next
Is
to a
that a Super
wetland.
Bowl prop bet, or what's,
Yeah.
Okay, so Annie, you know how to describe those 4 markers then?
Yeah, yeah, and I'll amend the order of conditions
You
to,
can just change that page. If
Yeah.
you've got it tonight,
I
you'll
do.
sign it.
there are
So
just,
we don't have to chase everybody.
yeah, there are just 2 other orders that or conditions that I've put in that I thought were pertinent to this lot. One of them is number 28, fertilizers utilized for landscaping and lawn care shall be slow release, low nitrogen, and phosphorus-free types and shall not be used within 25 feet of a resource area.
Okay.
Pesticides and herbicides shall not be used within 100 feet of a wetland resource area. This condition shall survive this order of conditions and shall run with the title of the property. This condition is issued under the authority of the town's wetland protection bylaw and shall remain in perpetuity. So that's one. The second one is that there shall be no dumping of leaves, There shall be no dumping of leaves, grass clippings, brush, or other debris into a wetland resource area or associated buffer zones. This condition shall remain in perpetuity.
Excellent.
Those are good.
George, do you have any feelings about that?
No, that's, from what I heard, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought it was
I agree.
No, it's relevant.
Ah, excellent. Well, thank you.
a nice thing to add.
Okay, so somebody want to make a motion to accept and note the change on the markers and close the hearing for us?
Okay. I'll make a motion to accepting the site plan as it is with the addition of 4 granite markers as discussed and will be written up for 0 Savory Lane.
And close the hearing.
Are we closing just for this one? I thought we were keeping the hearing open for,
No, just close this hearing.
okay.
Okay, and close this hearing.
Do we have to add that we're adding the additional,
No, that's
No,
okay.
no.
Those are just
okay,
boilerplate things.
great. I'll second
Second.
that. Oh,
Okay.
Now you
uh,
got it. You earned it.
So, let me just close this.
because I went to the,
You went to the,
I went to the house.
he went to the house.
Any further discussion on the motion to accept the plans for 85 Main Street with the addition of the 4 markers as discussed? Okay, hearing none, then we'll take a vote, roll call again.
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
John,
Duh.
Oh, he's doing that
Stephanie,
again.
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
Mike, yes. Unanimous. Okay, so we'll have that out pretty soon, George.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a
George.
good evening.
You too, thank you.
All right, so let's get that signed right now. And what she's gonna do is just the page that talks about the,
Oh, I gave you
the
the wrong one. Here.
markers. She did put in markers on there, but she's gonna alter it a bit.
Sorry about that.
I think you should do a granite wall all around it,
Like a castle.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say castle high turrets
What
at the
Jersey
top.
Barron is, 53.
I'll do it.
No one in, no one out.
yeah,
A moat, maybe?
that'd be nice.
Alligators.
Bald eagles.
Ones with tires or without? Hear about that one in Indonesia?
Which one?
There was a alligator in Indonesia that had, or a crocodile, I guess it was, that had a tire around its neck for the past 6 years.
Oh,
And they
no.
finally got that freaking
Oh,
tire.
good. Oh, man.
Okay, next on the agenda is a notice of intent, Groveland notice of
Thank you, Terry.
intent for the Groveland cross-country sewer improvements. And before we do anything with this one, I'm going to just have Annie explain the problem here.
Yeah, so we had a little issue, oh, sorry, Mike. A little issue with the newspaper notifications. They did not go in
Make
on.
sure talking to the mic.
Oh. We had a little issue with the newspaper notifications. They did not go out on time, which means we will not be hearing anything about this, and it will just be moved to the next meeting, so those newspaper notifications can go out and people can be notified when the hearing will take place.
So we're going to table this?
We're gonna continue it.
I move that we
Whoa,
continue.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh.
We haven't even opened it.
We
right?
haven't opened.
Yeah,
If we don't open it, we don't have to continue it.
Table it.
Now, the, you know, for a notice of intent, they have to notify the abutters.
Right.
And they have to advertise.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Mr. Chairman, this is Chris Lucas. May I clarify a point here?
sure.
The abutters were notified properly. The legal ad got mixed up. So all the abutters were notified, but the legal ad did not go out. It is scheduled to run February 11th for the March 9th hearing. We
Okay.
were looking tonight just to request the commission open the hearing and immediately continue it without discussion.
Yes, that's what
What-
we were
what-
planning on doing.
What do we gain from that?
Well, because otherwise, you know, we didn't want to have them have to notify everybody again.
Oh,
Okay,
Okay.
so this here, okay, so because, okay, got it.
I believe there's someone from the community that's here.
Well, hold on, let's open the meeting
It
then.
over- it still has.
I move to open this
Well-
hearing.
but he doesn't want to,
We aren't going
we're not going
to
to talk about anything.
say anything, because if people come next time and we've already discussed stuff, they're not going to know it. So that's why we're going to immediately continue.
It'll be in the minutes, it'll be recorded, and maybe we can,
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't want to get sued or have
good
us
point.
have to start all over again. So, we've done this in the past, so that's the way we're gonna do it.
Right, and that's the proper way, Mr. Chairman. That's the correct way to do it. Open it and continue it immediately without discussion. It'll be in the minutes, and any abutters that are listening in tonight or present will hear that they were notified of tonight's hearing, and anybody who is the legal ad will be at the next hearing, so everyone is covered as far as notifications.
Okay,
I am an abutter. My name is Kathleen Maltzakos. I live on Baldwin Terrace. I have your notice here. There is no mention of any meeting date, time, or anything else. None of the abutters received a date of a meeting. We received an intent. That's it. I had to call to find out about the meeting.
Right. We submitted the notification form with all the information so everyone could find out the date and the time. The Wetland Protection Act's very clear that that's more than appropriate. And I
Yeah.
believe that was confirmed with Mass DEP. Ms. Schindler, did you confirm that as correct with Mass DEP?
Yeah, the Northeast Regional Circuit Recruiter for Groveland confirmed it, that
It may be within the law, but it's not within the morality of the town's responsibilities, in my opinion.
right,
The abutters need to know when,
yeah,
for them to actually show up. It looked to me like it was trying to be railroaded through, and I'm not happy about that.
I agree with you. Normally we issue our own notice for the applicant to send out, and it always has the date and time of the hearing. And as far as I can see, there's no date and time on this, which puts an extra burden on all the people who received it, other than just throwing it away to say, wait a minute, when is that hearing? And they have to call somebody, and with the difficulty in getting through to town hall, if you stopped in or even called, you might not hear back. So I don't understand why this was sent this way. Why was it sent this way?
Mike, that's the template that the DEP issues.
It
I
doesn't
know,
have-
but we have our own, so you know what? Great for the DEP, but not for Groveland. Not for the Groveland bylaw, and this is a Groveland notice of intent. So I hate to say this, but I think they're gonna have to re-notify everybody.
Well, we
Mr.
could,
Chairman,
we could do that
we
too.
did provide all the information for them to contact. My number's on there. We've received numerous phone calls. We've told everyone when the hearing is. The legal ad is going out. It has the specific date, the time, the Zoom information is all being posted on it, so it's being put out in the public.
How many did you send out?
381.
There's one person here. You think that might have had some relationship?
No, I don't.
Well, I do.
All right, Mike, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to post something.
What are we gonna do?
I mean, we can
We
post
can
something.
put it on our website.
I know, but there's 300 and
Okay,
odd
there's
people out there.
okay, there's only so much we can do.
There's a significant cost to putting that together.
I
With that many, there-
understand, and I think that your company ought to bear that cost,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Right, commissioners?
I agree. I agree.
Why should the town of Groveland have to pay for this?
I agree. It does place an additional burden. I think that's the exact appropriate verbiage.
So we're not even gonna open the hearing tonight, because we shouldn't even be here for this. Doesn't exist. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, so we're moving on now.
There's nothing in the bylaw that specifically states you have to put the date and the time of the hearing.
Oh, come on now. You're gonna just send a meeting notice out with no notice, nothing. No, find out yourself. Why don't you just put on there, find out any way you can yourself when this hearing is. I'm sorry, we don't do that. That's not the way we operate.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
In order to get a hearing that we're currently at, don't you have to submit the abutters notification before you get a date?
no,
Yes, no, you do.
no, you don't. We provide that sheet because there's no guarantee that somebody's gonna get on the agenda until we send them the notice.
Mr. Chairman, we never received anything for that. We just sent our normal form. We never received anything from the commission to send out.
Mike,
So you're asking us and the applicant to bear the cost of that, but we never received a notification on what to submit.
this is, it says, the Groveland Conservation Commission has received your application, and then they get this. I
Right.
didn't send, I know, but he has to submit the application.
Yeah,
before
submitting
we-
the application, and then we tell them what date they're gonna be on the agenda and the time, based on this.
And then they notify the abutters.
Send it to them, and they know, they're supposed to use that to notify the abutters and advertise in the paper.
When the meeting is. That's the
Right.
whole point of notifying the abutters.
Exactly. Or it's a total waste of time like
Right.
this, and we have one person
Out
out
of
of 300 odd
320.
people who were able to find out that tonight was the meeting, because it wasn't advertised.
Well, it's not even 381 people, it's 381 addresses.
Yeah, right. Didn't I ask you to set up a lot of chairs? Look at all the chairs we have set up here, for who? This is ridiculous.
I'd like to just add something that the format was done differently because the town's the applicant.
Yes,
So the format for the notice was done differently, which was approved by conservation and the DEP, right? So I don't, it's a 1,000-foot buffer, it's a 1,000-foot, a butters list, 1,000 feet from the project. It's not your typical, because it's a linear project, a town project. To go back through and nail it all out again. I mean, I'm helping the water department out with it, but the town's the applicant, so I don't know what you guys are doing here. You're forcing the water department to do this all over again. It's not me. I mean, don't think, the people may think it's me, it's not me. It's not my application.
I was under the impression that the abutters notification was part of the application, and it had to be submitted with the application to get this hearing. So there's no way that the date could have been included on it.
no, that's why that doesn't count. Anyone can do anything any other way that they want in some other town, but in Groveland, this is the way. We tell people when the meeting is and what time. That seems to make the most sense to me.
I went through an 18-month
Mr. Chairman,
No one's showing up.
we downloaded all the forms. I know previously the form was available because we filed in your town before. One of my colleagues filed a while back. Mass DEP recently changed the abutter notification requirements, and there's no form posted on your website anymore. We'd like to move forward with this, and there is a cost to re-notifying. We did provide a phone number. I don't, we've received numerous phone calls about this. Most of them were inquiring when they can tie into the sewer main. So it didn't seem like there was a lot of concern here, but we did receive numerous phone calls. I believe Annie received several as well. We've been answering the phone calls. People are calling because they're inquiring and they have the information in front of them. We're not trying to circumvent anything here. We were just following, we went to the website to make sure we had all the information. I've been coordinating with Annie. She's been extremely helpful through this process. But your application doesn't include your own form. There's nothing on the website.
I don't know what you're talking about as far as a form. We don't have a form on our website. We never had a form on our website. What we do is you submit your application and then we tell you when the hearing date and time is. Okay, that's always the way we've done it. So nothing has changed on our side.
And we're on the agenda. It's on the agenda. So something passed somewhere along the line, we made the agenda.
Yes, because it was submitted, but for some reason, Bill, they sent out the notice before we told them the date and time.
Well, because it had to go out before the date and time, before it had to be out a certain amount of time in advance, and because it's such a large mailing, that's why it went to the certified copy and not the certified mail.
Right.
Yeah, we waived that requirement for.
That's right, you guys
For
waived it.
large numbers.
That's right,
Yeah.
you waived it, so I mean, I think it's just open, close it, and we'll figure out the next meeting. Post it on the website, post it on the board out front. I mean, like I said, I went through an 18-month ZBA 40B hearing, and nobody showed up, so the visions of everyone coming down there with signs, stop the store, isn't gonna happen. I mean, you might see one or two people, in my opinion. I mean, maybe more now because I'm saying something, but no one, there's not gonna be 100 people down there.
Did you have to notify 300 people, Bill?
I did.
I don't know.
We can notice more. I wouldn't put it all together. Like I said, I'm working with Colin on that, and we did the whole thing. That's why it was so massive. It's 1,000 feet from the whole length of the pipe, and my God, it's probably half the town.
No, this, but I'm talking about your
And
previous.
did the same notice for the ZBA? I mean, you guys waived the requirement to prove that letter, put us on the agenda, and, I mean, you go through the whole process again, and all it is certain the town. It's the town forcing the town to do something again. It's not hurting me.
What's the cost gonna be?
It was $4,800 the first time around for that mailing.
For the 381?
Yep.
So it's about $12 a piece.
Yep.
Why would it be that much? I'm just curious, because mine wasn't even stamped to the post office. I had a regular US stamp on it.
I
So
don't
I'm
handle
very
that part of it.
confused.
I don't handle that part. I can show you the invoice.
I'm not saying this, I'm saying when I put 58 cents per mailing, it's 381, it's $20 and change.
I wish it was.
That's what it's, I mean, that's what 58 cents is.
Now, you can throw in some printing costs, and you can, it takes time to compile these things, but it sounds like somebody's making some money on it.
I don't know what the solution is here.
When I first read this notice, I didn't think there was a meeting. I truly did not believe there was a meeting because there was nothing mentioned about it until I called the town.
When someone's required to notify the abutters, they don't know when their hearing is yet. That stuff goes out before.
No, that's not true. That's not the way we do things.
I have received dates and times for any kind of an abutter meeting until this.
That notice was approved and sent out.
It wasn't approved by us.
It was absolutely, well, the other one was waived for this one. We sent the draft copy, that was sent and approved and mailed.
Well, I guess the point is, they knew when the meeting was going to be held before they sent out the mailing. They chose not to put that date on the mailing, and this is what has happened. And apparently, they're legally entitled to do that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're legally entitled to do that.
Well, they may be for DEP, but not for our bylaw.
Well, does the okay,
Not according to our procedures.
well, is that in the bylaw, or
Yeah.
is that a
We
legal
reference
thing?
our procedures. Not all our procedures are in the bylaw.
All right, so it sounds like they pulled a
I'm just
fast
saying-
one.
I'm saying that we don't do it that way.
Okay, we don't do it that way, but we don't have a specific law that says you can't do it that way. So I don't know that we have a legal foot to stand on, is the issue.
It's not a legal foot. It's not that. I mean, we have one resident here who came, did her extra homework to be able to come. The other 380 probably threw it away for whatever reason. I think we have a obligation to our residents in town to make sure that they at least know about this, that there's a hearing, and that they can come if they want to. And obviously, that hasn't been done.
Well, I agree with all of that,
Right.
and,
Mr.
and
Chairman?
I don't think it should have been done the way that it was done. But on the other hand, I don't think that we can prevent it from moving along as they've requested.
We're not preventing it. We're just saying that these people need to be notified.
But they will be notified with the legal notice, won't they?
The
Well,
legal notice in the
come on, who
paper.
reads those?
Right.
Well, but,
Please.
I mean, who,
We don't, Annie, you've seen our form.
It was waived. It was waived.
It has, the form was not waived. Our form has the date and time of the hearing for the Groveland portion of the meeting. If somebody wants to issue something else that meets DEP requirements, that's fine. But every single hearing we have under the bylaw has to use the language to tell everybody when the meeting is and what the date is.
Well, I don't know if
That
that's,
wasn't done.
I don't know if that's part of the bylaw, Mike, and I think
It
what we have
isn't part
to.
of the bylaw, it's precedent, Terry. That's what we do, because it makes sense.
Well, of course
Doesn't
it
it make
makes sense.
sense?
Of course it
Doesn't
makes
it make
sense.
sense to
course
tell
it-
everyone when the hearing is?
Yes, sir.
It does.
So then what are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about, we either need to
So
codify that.
this is what I want you to do. I want you to send out 381 letters to everybody by first-class mail with a form that Annie will provide to you. So that won't cost so much.
Are you gonna
How's
require-
that?
Are you gonna require certified mail?
No,
return?
we don't need, they've already got something, but they didn't know when it was.
Oh, it wasn't certified mail, was it, Kathy?
No, it was not.
Mr. Chairman,
It was a regular postage stamp on it.
We waived
Mr. Chairman.
we waived portion of the requirement, but it was supposed to still be certified mail, wasn't it?
I have no idea. I don't think I was
Yeah.
here for that one.
Well,
We had a meeting.
it was met,
I don't have my notes.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
no.
Oh, come on, Mike.
Yeah, look,
So would we agree to that? First-class mail to 380 people for the next meeting, using the form that's supposed to be used for the Groveland bylaw hearing? Is that, will we do that or not?
I'm fine with that.
yeah, I think that's.
At least, I mean, if these people got this thing before, this says, okay, the hearing is such and such a date. It's gonna be advertised on top of that for March 9th. That seems to make the most sense.
So you could mail it
And the fact
by-
that this abutter didn't get any certified mail, I don't know what they paid $12 for.
They could mail it by postcard.
Well, they could mail whatever they want, as long
Okay.
as something goes out with the date and time.
I can bring the envelope to you. I got it.
No, I believe you, I believe you. I don't know what they paid for, but,
We mailed what was agreed upon.
yeah,
We mailed what was agreed upon.
yes,
That was-
okay, thank you, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, you know, I understand your concern about the specific date and time, but I'd like to give the residents in the town some credit here. We specifically stated there was going to be a hearing and that they could contact either you or me for the date and the time. You know, the problem with putting a date and time in there, those things are subject to change, and if you change them, then you have to re-notify abutters. You know, so if it, you know, we met the full intent of the state. I understand your town does things a little differently, and it's unfortunate it went out this way. Believe me, I wish it didn't, and this had been done differently, but, you know, it was very clear in that notification letter that there is a date and time and a hearing, and here's the people to contact to get it. We've received phone calls. Mr. Daly indicated they've been through a lengthy process on this, and they had no abutters then. You know,
So are
don't
you
see-
willing to send out 381 first-class pieces of mail to the same abutter list? Using the
I will
form, using the form that Annie will provide to you? Are you just,
I will defer to the applicant if Mr. Daly and the town want to do that. we can do
Mr.
that.
Daly has nothing to say. He is not the applicant, it's the town. And personally, since you guys screwed up, I would say the least you could do is to pay somebody do the math on that. What's that, about $150?
Well, it's about $240 in postage, plus
Okay.
envelopes, plus
Yeah.
paper,
Postcards.
plus
Do postcards.
stuffing envelopes.
To design those and get
So
them
are you
printed.
willing to do that or not?
Printing them's cheaper, I think.
I can't tell who's in the room. Bill, is Colin here from the town, or is it just Mr. Daly in the room? I can't see on the screen.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Bill, I don't mind eating that money and moving this along if you're good with it.
That was Colin who responded, not Bill. Chris.
Oh, okay. Colin, I don't mind eating the cost of this to move this along, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of,
It's goodwill, is what it is
yeah,
at
we
this
don't really
point.
have a choice, I don't think. It doesn't sound like, so.
Yep.
Okay,
I was wondering if I could say something.
sure.
It's
Could you identify yourself?
Debbie Webster, 45 Wood Street.
Thank you.
Tough to hear people speaking if they're not at the microphone, so it's tough to hear. But I guess what my major question is, you may have addressed it, is why is the town the applicant? And if the town is the applicant, what is the town's liability as being the applicant if there's any issues during the course of this construction, or there's any complaints or violations?
Mr. Chairman, we really need to.
Yeah, that's a great
respond to
question, but that
once the
should
hearing's
be,
open.
that should be part of a formal hearing. And,
Correct.
and I would say 28 days from now, that question will be answered, right?
Correct.
All
Yeah,
right.
we'd be happy to answer that on March 9th.
Yep, you know where to find us, you know when it's gonna be.
I would like to inquire, you know, we can move this along, re-notifying, but we'd like to confirm that all the members of the commission are seeking us to do this.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, sorry.
Can't do a vote.
He wants us to
Basically wants
vote.
it to vote
Yeah.
that we all agree.
Okay,
We're asking
all
if
right,
this is the
so
opinion of the entire commission,
we
Mr.
will
Chair.
send you a copy of the form, and as soon as you get that form, then you can send it out to the 381 abutter list. Okay, so
Mr.
we're gonna
Chairman, we can do
move,
that, but I would
we're
like,
gonna move along now, we're gonna move along.
Can't take a vote on something we didn't open.
The next hearing is the 268 Washington Street, notice of intent, Groveland notice of intent, continued from our January meeting. And again, I'm recommending that we continue at least until March, when we'll try to schedule a site visit when there's, it makes sense to visit the site with no snow, because
Is that a motion, Mr.
pretty
Chairman?
extensive, if somebody wants to make that motion.
So motioned.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded that we continue 268 Washington Street to our meeting on March 9th. Any further discussion on that? Okay,
Thanks for coming.
hearing none.
Well, we'll see you next month.
Yep.
Terry,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
John,
See,
Stephanie,
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
Mike, yes, unanimous. Okay. I'll move that we close the hearing portion of the meeting at 8:18.
Second.
Kathy, thanks for coming.
Any
Appreciate
further
it.
discussion? Terry,
thank you for coming.
Aye.
Thank you. I was really upset because there's no mention of a meeting on this next.
No, we get it. We rallied behind you. I think we did the right thing.
No, I appreciate it.
I think they're eventually doing the right thing. I think it's probably a good project, but we'll find out next month.
With it being closer to the water tower than, well, not water, water supply than I'd like it to be, I think we should all be aware of it.
Yep, and,
I know what it was like back in the 80s when we didn't have water.
yeah.
It was horrible. For anybody that didn't live here,
Well, for anybody that's had a septic tank link into a well, that's pretty bad too, so.
yeah, but.
So we'll talk about it next month.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure we'll see you here, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, so,
Aye.
it's moved and seconded that we, close the hearing portion of the meeting, so we'll take a vote on that.
We already did.
We did.
He did, I did.
We already did.
We ayed it.
What?
We already
closed
moved.
it. We all voted on that.
And then we say goodbye to Kathy.
Oh, yeah,
You're on to
distracted.
the next
We're
matter.
on to seasonal fee discussion.
Seasonal fee structure.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
this
still,
is still recorded.
This is still part of the meeting, it's just not hearing.
It's not the hearing portion of the
It's a
meeting.
different,
Sometimes it goes to executive session with.
oh, no,
Yeah,
no.
we don't do
No,
that so
we
much.
don't do that
No.
crap.
Do we have an executive board?
We have executive sessions sometimes.
We're
Do
volatile
we?
right in front of them, everybody.
I haven't been part of one.
Well, we've been excluding you deliberately.
I'm not an executive.
All right, so, let me see if I can bring this up.
So what are we picking up on seasonal fee structure discussion?
It's Terry's table.
Seasonal
Terry's
waiver.
table, I love it.
I like that.
That
I feel important.
It's only fair.
So in the future, if we adopt Terry's table, we can always blame it on Terry.
Terry.
Well,
I would have gone for the lower amount, but Terry's table says.
Drives me.
similarly,
Well,
is Terry's table option A and option B, or is it just option A?
No,
Stop today.
the only difference, I think, in these is that the fees are lower based on some input that I provided last time. But basically, everything about the table is the same. The descriptions in the different categories.
I move to accept option B for seasonal restriction waiver fee schedule.
Why?
Why? Seems reasonable.
Well, right now, in.
It's not your table.
Right now.
Yay.
You're A, Terry.
Okay, the only reason that I wanted a table out there was to get a
Discussion
basis
going.
of comparison where you could go side by side and make sure that nothing unreasonable that hadn't been well considered was moved into effect. And this seems very clear. It does not leave a lot of room for interpretation, right?
Consistency, yes.
It's consistent, the fees are reasonable.
But part of the reason for the fees is to try and discourage people
Exactly.
from doing this work. during
I very
this.
much appreciated that point last time.
But there's not a huge difference between my table and option B.
I think if
and-
you, on a per day basis, it certainly is. I mean, like, if you look at the excavating work, it's 100 versus $150 a day. That's a,
Yeah, I like Terry's table, actually.
Okay.
Terry's table
This was-
has the open project per day.
This
which
was,
we have not
this was your
discussed,
whole plan,
that's your, yeah.
to get yours
Which is
accepted.
on the documentation we have for the seasonal
Yeah,
restriction waivers.
Somewhere I missed, what is an open project?
Yeah, can we
That's-
define that?
What, we had added that in, I think, about 5 years ago. And what it is that, let's say, I want to do
An addition.
yeah, well, whatever it is, and it's going to take 5 days. But I don't know when those days are, but over the period of the next month, I'm going to do 5 days worth of work. You would be charged the 5 days for whatever it is you were doing, plus you would be charged $25 a day for that whole month.
Until you, well, would
Until
it
it's
be the whole
completed.
month or until you came and said,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
done?
whenever it was done.
Yeah.
But, I think we should eliminate that because it's too hard to,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's another area that's a gray area to somebody say, well, when are they really starting? You
Well,
know?
plus it's a little excessive,
I
like
mean,
if,
maybe
Or you
it's.
can reduce it, you made
well,
$10 a
but
day.
Maybe
Well-
it's a little naive, but I guess I'd have to ask Annie, has it been working when we say, tell us the number of days that you've worked?
Yes, people
I
are
mean-
honest. they have no reason not to be so far.
There are a lot of reasons.
Well,
not to be.
they have $25 a day. No, but I mean, I guess in my view is if we're having success with people coming in and telling us, yes, I worked 7 days or 5 days and they pay that, I'm okay with saying we don't need open because we're doing that with some of the with the contractors, right? We're just
Yeah.
saying, tell us how many days you're actually working.
Because it's no skin off the contractor's back, and they're the people who are communicating with me. Because the contractors, I mean, like for like a septic system.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
paying.
they're not
it's-
paying
it's the
for it.
They
owner.
just forwarded on, say, this is the fee of what we have to pay for doing this during this time period, yeah. I
Well,
get that.
I think if the fees are at an adequate discouragement that we don't necessarily need the open project additional charge, like I do feel like that would be a little excessive.
So you're
but
looking at
if we
Terry's
went-
table minus open project?
Yes.
And the difference is $50 flat fee for failed septic, $50 a day on discretionary septic, $50 a day on excavation for a single family, and it's basically $50 a day less
Correct.
than what I had proposed
Yes.
I'm
for
inclined-
single-family home,
I'm inclined to.
which
think
is
that-
why I proposed it. It seems reasonable.
I think it's reasonable to do the Terry's table, honestly, with minus the open project fee, because I think that in the grand scheme of things, if you price out a septic, $250 for working in the wintertime, during our period, is chump change compared to what they're paying
Right,
anyway.
right.
And I'm not saying we should be feeing the residents to death, but I think that it's a reasonable fee for, well, at the same time, we're obviously knowing that
It's
they,
250 and they could be working for a week,
yeah.
and that's not bad.
Right.
Mike, do you have thoughts on this?
No, I agree with you. If somebody wants to make a motion, I think we're pretty much there.
I'll move.
I really like the table. I think that
Yeah,
that's.
the table makes,
Yeah.
that really just gels it and just makes it a lot easier. And it's gonna be easier for our customers
Yeah. We can
to
just-
understand as well. And they're reasonable enough so that I don't think we need to be all that concerned about waiving fees, except, if there's some, tragic event, sure.
Well,
But I
our bylaw provides the provision of a hardship waiver.
Right, right.
For any of our fees.
Right.
So, other than that, we shouldn't have to give any other waivers.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And reduced fees or any of that
Right.
stuff. So John's making a motion.
I move that we accept the seasonal restriction waiver fee schedule as referenced under option A, AKA Terry's table, as written minus the open project fee, which should be struck. And I also move that we include this on the website.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that people
absolutely.
are clear as to what these fees that they can expect will be.
Excellent. Third.
Hey, it's my,
It's his
my
table.
table.
You deserve
At
that.
least let me second it.
Excellent point. Thank you, John.
Procedural.
Any further discussion on this? Okay.
Yes, I'd like to again thank Annie for putting this thing together.
Yeah,
It's
beautiful
gonna.
That worked out.
I agree, very concise.
it
I'll
makes-
add it to the other seasonal waiver, so
Yeah,
it,
add that to the
Ins-
document for seasonal waivers, yeah.
Perfect.
And get it on the website.
Let's vote.
Okay, all in favor? We
Aye.
gotta-
Aye.
We've got to do roll
Gotta
call,
do a roll
sorry.
call. Fred's
Terry,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Stephanie,
Aye.
Fred,
Aye.
Mike, yes, unanimous.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so much easier than I thought it was gonna be.
Well, sometimes we got to think about these things.
Thanks, Terry, for your table. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Annie,
I
for,
think we should add that to the next marker that we do, is that, this marker is sponsored by Terry's Table.
okay.
All right, we'll turn it over to Annie for
Boy,
your
I feel like
updates.
we've been doing nothing but listening to her all day long already.
Well, she has a lot to say.
not much, slow month. We got we have an update about 104 King Street. I yesterday received a email from Libby I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, from the DEP. We received their administrative consent order with penalty and notice of noncompliance for 104 King Street. I will send this to all of you. I just got it yesterday.
So you say.
Essentially outlining
Just kidding.
their findings, their disposition and order about the work that was done there, et cetera, et cetera. It's like 20-ish pages long. So I'll send that out to you guys so you can give it a read too. But essentially, they're going to have to remedy what happened.
Okay.
Is the long story short.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then I'm just gonna there hasn't been anything super crazy in the office. Couple calls, no new applications really.
Are you checking the right phone?
Yes.
She's on a different phone.
My phone is at a different desk than my desk, but,
Oh, okay,
Inside joke.
okay.
so I'll just kind of lump Meadow Pond into this. I've spoken to folks at Mass Fish and Game and the environmental police for the state, and all of the reports, they have investigated them, and it's all above board. They
Just a little bit of background information on that. So, if you recall, about a year and a half ago, we had 3 parts of Meadow Pond that were not under any conservation restriction. 2 of them had to be because they were parcels that were purchased with CPA funds. So, we decided to throw in the 10-acre parcel that was originally Meadow Pond. And the most obvious people to take the CR was the existing CR in the rest of the place, which is Fish and Game. So Fish and Game, about a year ago, put the CR on there. But unfortunately, as part of the CR with the Fish and Game is you have to allow hunting on everything that's outside of 500 feet from a residence. So we did that, and for the past year, there really hasn't been anything, but we've got a couple of complaints about hunting out there. People either hunting closer than 500 feet or just in the general area. So I had
Hitting a dead
Annie
deer.
talk to Fish and Game about it, but doesn't seem like they're willing to change anything, and they say that, well, they didn't say the deer hunting was proper, but,
No, they did. Deer hunting's allowed.
no, but I'm saying what they did about that deer wasn't
No,
proper,
but, I mean,
right?
Right.
This a secret code?
Yeah,
Yeah, what happened to the deer?
No, well, they chased a deer. We don't know exactly, but
Somebody shot a deer and it ran off somewhere and then they were
Somebody shot a
chasing
deer
it.
and they left it there, which
yeah,
is
we don't know where
unethical.
they shot it exactly, but it was
Okay.
in a place that was pretty close to residences, so.
Gotcha.
So anyway.
Are there legitimate issues with people hunting within 500 feet of a residence?
Are there,
Are there, I'm asking.
are they doing it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Does it need to be posted better?
That's what we requested,
Okay.
so I'll let Annie, sorry to interrupt you, Annie, go ahead. So tell them what they said.
I asked about the signs. Essentially, they said that, yes, we can do it. They were going to drop off the signs. The person I talked to said he then spoke to his manager and said that they were going to have to be the ones to put them up, and they will do it before hunting season in September.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
yeah,
Okay.
they'll post it. I kind of noted where most people tend to enter, and they said that they'll put them there and make sure they're where they're supposed to be, 500 feet from dwellings, any building. It's not just dwellings.
Are you
Any-
gonna go with them when they put them up, just to
Yep, Mike has already requested it.
Excellent, thank you.
Cool.
She's gonna bring her shotgun.
Yeah.
Falcons?
Any other,
They don't use
any
rifles in
other
Mass.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
upcoming projects?
The only other thing that's worth noting, 195 Main Street, across the street, I brought it up last month, I think. They applied for a certificate of compliance, but the grass hasn't grown yet. So they're gonna put money in it for escrow because they wanna sell the second portion. And they just asked what we thought would be a good amount. And Mike and I quickly discussed it before the meeting, and we thought like $1,000, because it's a very small backyard, and it is technically already seeded and loamed and everything. It's just to make sure, grass actually grows.
It's tough to do anything less than 1,000, and anything more than that seems like a lot,
Yeah.
so, sure.
Yeah. So it's, nothing has to be voted on. It was more just a discussion.
All right.
But other than that, nothing.
Well done.
Okay, so moving on to open discussion, I just wanted to make a note on VZ Park. We've got two potential community preservation projects that are being applied for. The first is to do a study, an architectural study, and related work for Lucille's Cottage. That one was put together by Annie and Vanessa, pursuing historic money to look into using Lucille's Cottage for something other than the dogs that are there now. So hopefully we'll get that one, and that will enable the plan is to have the architect put together some plans for it, and then obviously we'd have to find money to actually do the work. The other one,
Fire pit.
the other one is a phase 3 for VZ Park to put a lift in that would enable people who are not able to do stairs to be able to navigate between the Great Hall, the middle level, and then the Pingree down in the basement, so 3 stops. And it would also level out the floor in the Great Hall with the added space of the former VFW room. So that one's for, I think, $204,000, and hopefully we'll get that because it really needs to be done. We put a grant request in with the state, with the state's outfit that handles handicapped access, and we didn't get it, so we're hoping both of those come through.
Yep.
Any questions on those? Any other items anyone has to?
Do you want to talk about the rail trail, the ponding at Center Street? Is that, because that's our area, isn't it?
I don't think, it's not under the Conservation Commission. Technically, I don't think it would be under Open Space and Trails, but I can speak on it if you'd like me to.
I think the area that it happened is not our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
It's-
I wasn't
it's-
sure that was the
Yeah,
case.
no, it's
Okay.
down near the beginning of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
more,
right.
yeah.
I mean, or
There's
by-
some runoff or something, or?
it's flooding people's,
It's stormwater management issues. The way it was designed, they really elevated that portion. And I don't know why DOT didn't account that it would change runoff. So instead of going into the rail trail, it's now going into people's front yards.
but that's not our jurisdiction. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's open space and trails, and I'm aware of it. Rennie, our highway superintendent, Rebecca, we've reached out to our engineers. DOT is aware of it. So
Okay.
things are being done about it for sure. It's just, it's also like, is of course the weather and how hot, cold,
Caroline, but in here,
melting, freezing,
I don't know if it's-
all of that. It's been exasperated, I think. But
Okay.
yeah,
Inspection.
Thank you.
yep.
Nothing else.
Okay, so our next meeting.
I got a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Nuns Hill, they're out sledding and everything. Why are there no hay bales around the trees? Is that a thing?
Oh, VC.
We
I'm VZ, yeah.
used to do it 5 years ago, at least 5 years ago, if not 6 or 7, I can't remember. We stopped because what happened was we used to put them around the trees.
Yeah.
And we stopped doing that because we'd put them out in the first snowstorm. Kids would take them to build jumps on the hill.
Oh,
So we felt that, it was
Wow.
kind of crazy to
Mistake
keep
'em.
doing that. I am concerned about the parking over there. Whenever I leave Uptack Road, I have to drive by it. And this year, there's been a huge amount of people, and the parking is terrible over there when it's a Saturday
Yeah.
or Sunday. So, I don't know, I think we gotta think about
Another trip
what to
the
do
rock.
differently.
why
there.
can't people park in that ginormous parking lot? Is it not enough space for everybody who would want to sled?
It's little kids and they don't want to go.
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
They don't want to go up the hill. It's actually, I think personally, it's a lot safer and it's
Right.
not that much further a walk to go from the parking lot to the top of the hill, right?
Yeah, at the
We're not
top.
gonna get judgy.
No,
Already
but,
at the top of the
but
hill.
anyway, I
Trying to be
think,
judgy, I don't.
someday we're gonna have to think about putting
Boulders.
some kind of diagonal parking or something along Washington Street,
Yeah.
if possible. I'm not sure that it's possible because
The trees are
Under
pretty
Trees
close.
are, yeah.
under the CR, I don't know that we can pave any further in, so.
Dave.
But you want to, I was going a different direction. I was going with boulders. I thought we'd take
I know.
another trip to.
I know, that's why I was thinking.
So you're
Boulders,
saying,
please.
you're okay with them parking?
Well, no,
You just want to manage better.
it's just that parallel parking there's just too many cars for it, and they park on Uptack Road and half of the people are half in the street. If you had angle parking, it might be a bit safer, but I'm not 100% sure that we could do it.
I just worry about people having the image that we're trying to prevent kids from being over there and using the place and looking like we're being the hard asses.
Well,
by-
except that you
It's
have,
dangerous, yeah.
can we put signs up now that just say plenty of parking?
Right, encourage
in the-
parking in the lot.
Yes, we could do that. That's another option. We could put a
No?
No one's gonna do it.
put a
I know, but it's
fence
just a
up
safety
too.
problem, like somebody's gonna get
I
hit by a
agree.
car.
I think I've got to talk to the police department to see what their
If
thoughts
they
are.
go
Yeah.
by, would
Yeah.
they say this was unsafe and?
Yeah, well, that's what I
Yeah.
don't know,
Sure they
I'm
go
not
by.
sure how
No,
they
I'm-
view it.
I guess, would they say, okay, that car's too far out, or is that?
Yeah, I'm sure they should be, their input should be sought.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a public safety issue.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not a conservation issue, it's a public safety issue.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know.
I want people to have fun too. I mean, it's wicked fun to sled down that hill, but. the
right, we don't
parking
want to stop
situation-
anybody from using it.
Yeah,
You
Just
have
wanna
to,
do
you
it
have to
safely.
walk up at one point. Either you park at the bottom and walk up, or you park at the top and your
Right.
last run you walk up.
Right. Yep.
but is the road
Sorry,
properly,
Well, but you want to
I mean,
sled right
is the
into
road
the
access
car.
during these storms, has that been nice and the parking
It's
is?
tricky to drive past there. Honestly, it's one lane.
I agree with you. No, I know. I'm just saying, to get up to the parking lot, is
Oh,
that all
that's
clear?
fine.
Oh, that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And, there's parking up there for about 60
Yeah.
Oh, that's
or
plenty,
70
yeah.
cars,
Yeah.
and so usually there's not more than that, but So anyway, I'll talk to the police sometime in the near future and see what their thoughts are.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Next meeting, March 9th.
Yes.
We know that, don't we?
Yes, yes.
2022.
That'll be advertised.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Oh, we're gonna have to take a roll
Roll call.
call. Terry,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
John.
Yes.
Stephanie,
Hi.
Fred,
We have to pick up all these chairs.
Mike,
Yeah.
yes.
Aye.
Yes, unanimous. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.